Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Today it's all about magic items, making your own magic items, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to deal with amulets. The amulet, the thing around your neck, the necklace, of course. I have a poll set up and ready to go, which I'm hoping that you will take part in. I'm also going to suggest you provide some of your own ideas, and we'll see what we can do with them. I'm all for trying to share as much as I can. So here it is. Here's the poll. Grab some food, some drink, and we're going to get into this fairly quickly. I'm going to be trying to make a lot of this as system agnostic as possible. Some of the words should be able to be used with any version of D&D or other tabletop role-playing game that you're playing. So that's the plan. Anyway, let's get going, shall we? Hi, welcome to HowtoRPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about tabletop role-playing games, and we're going to talk about the little itty-bitty thing, the tiny thing, that is the amulet, the necklace, the thing that goes around your neck. And we're going to build and make our own magic items. Okay, that is the goal for today. I have already got a document. I have already started on that process, and it's not obviously complete. That's what the live stream's all about. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to prompt you. Feel free to share some of your ideas, but I will present some of the things that I come up with as well. So the first thing is, what amulet or necklace magic item ideas do you have? Now, I'm aiming for things that are simple, common, not artifacts, not high-powered magic items. Simple, common, and low-powered. Why? Because as I've talked about magic items so many times before, my go-to is always start with small, common, and low-powered to begin with before you start getting into the more complicated things that are a bit more powerful. Just to avoid trouble. And trouble is things being too overpowered and the players breaking your game. So we don't want to do that. Let's have a go at making some stuff that is not overpowered. Here we go. Let's start off with the first one. I have simply taken an existing magic item that we made last week, which was a helmet, and they made it an amulet of heroism. Now, I've structured it like a 5e magic item, but you could probably use it in any version of D&D. It wouldn't be a problem. Amulet of heroism. So while wearing this amulet, you are immune to being frightened and magical fear effects. So that pretty much covers most of that aspect of it. I don't like making magic items that are duplicating another magic item effect just because it is not that original. So if we could do something with this and not have it be heroism, so call it something else and have it doing something slightly different, might be quite interesting. It's just about how it would look. So have a think about that. But while we're doing that, I am going to actually grab a book. I'm a huge fan now of Shadow Dark. It doesn't have a lot of magic items in it though. So hopefully this whole process will alleviate that issue. What I would like to do is I would like to take the magic item effect and I would like to make it very specific but still relatively useful, rather than just being, you now have a magical egg whisker. I'm going to take the hat off, it's getting too hot. I'm sure that in any game that you're playing, a tabletop role-playing game, the players will eventually figure out how to use a magical egg whisker and make themselves, I don't know, an omelette out of rock eggs, but it might not be the most exciting thing or the most interesting thing. So let's take some basic conditions in 5e and see if we can work around these a little bit. I guess the first one that comes to mind is I was thinking of being poisoned. So I would like the idea of having an amulet. We could take this, and normally I would work with cantrip spells or low-level spells to generate these magic items, but today we're going to do it a little bit differently. Now what would that be called? I don't know. I don't want to call it amulet of resistance or resistance amulet or anything like that. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is what I'm kind of aiming for in terms of what it does. While wearing this amulet, you are immune. Now, one of the things about amulets is I don't think they should be an action to activate. I want them to be things that can be turned on or active while attuned to it or wearing it all the time. So it needs to be a very low level effect, and it needs to be fairly specific so that it's not too overpowering, right? Otherwise we wind up having to lift the level of it. While wearing this amulet, you are immune to being poisoned, you're immune to taking poison damage, because that'll always be the thing that comes up. Poison damage and or non-magical poison effects. Okay, is it still a common magic item? That's a good question, right? Have we made it really, really strong? Because suddenly, if you're immune to taking poison damage, is that too far? So we may have to change this, and we'll need a name for it, but we'll see how we go. Let's keep going, though, with the concept of working off the 5e conditions for now as a sort of a starting point. What else can we do? I don't want to do, obviously, I want to keep it so it feels like it's magical and not too mundane. So I guess the one that I really was thinking about was being petrified. Like, this is one of the things that players are petrified of happening, is turning to stone. So let's make one for dealing with being petrified. It's very specific. It's a very debilitating effect. I don't know what you would call it. You guys, you can come up with a name. While wearing this amulet, you are immune to being petrified. Whoopsies. Let's try that again. If I get it right, petrified. And magical effects that turn you to stone. Okay. There's our magic item. What are we going to call it? You tell me. It's not the amulet of petrification because it's stopping you from being petrified. Is it still a common magic item? I'm going to say it is, unless somebody else has got a better argument in terms of why it shouldn't. Okay, so what's another thing that we can do that would be interesting? And another one that I was toying with when I was thinking about this was being charmed. So a magic item that stops you from being charmed. So we can take this. See, I've taken one magic item idea and I've built three. Well, whoopsies. 2 ideas, but this is essentially 3 ideas from the one and just building on top of that with slightly different effects. It's not that difficult to do this, people. You can handle it. Okay, so what is it called? I'll let you guys figure that one out. I'm going to go here for now, go bold. And while we're on this amulet, you're immune to being charmed, and magical charm effects. Here we go. Nice and simple, really specific, and it'll be useful in certain circumstances, but not all the time, right? And the idea is to make this something that the players can use, have a benefit from, but it's not always going to be a catch to. It's not going to catch everything. It's not going to be all-encompassing. It will be useful all the time, which means it's not really a common magic item. Now, you can have common magic items that are useful all the time, but since having immunity to a condition or a magical effect is quite strong, we want to sort of tone things down a little bit by being really specific. Okay, so that's, yeah, we might have to change these, but we'll see how we go. Now, I guess the question is, does this mean that it's now a common magic item because charmed comes up quite a lot, right? Being charmed can come up quite a lot. So the one around poisoning and charmed might have to be uncommon. The frightened and magical fear effects, they do come up a lot, but my general feeling is that it's not nearly as bad. Being frightened is not nearly as bad as taking the poison condition, or being poisoned, or taking poison damage, or even being charmed. So I'm not going to worry about it being anything but a common magic item. Okay, and I'll put here heroism. We might want to change this to a different name if you want to change that. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all of the conditions that I can think of that we could turn into a magic item that might be of some use to players. Okay, I'm going to put this aside for a second, and I'm going to start working through your chat to see what you guys have come up with in terms of ideas, and I'm also going to work through the different cantrips, because I have the cantrips set up here off this website, just because it's easy, cut and paste. And I've also got the magic items for 5e that are here. Not all AD&D, but I do have some AD&D books in front of me. I'm not going to be able to cycle through them that much, but we'll see. So I've got some examples of magic items that are amulets already. There's not a lot. Let's try to make 20. I think 20 would be nice. Sorry, people. I struggle at this time of the year with my hay fever, and there's no getting away from it. Medication, nasal spray, you name it. There are other things you can do, but I won't describe them. Anyway, so let's have a look and see what people have come up with. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you? If you guys can come up with some better names for the amulets that I've created, by all means, let me know. Okay. Thank you for being here, Pale Rider. So, the cat eye amulet. Looking through the large center gem allows the wearer to see in total darkness. I'll mark it down. The problem is there is a dark vision spell, right? And in 5e, dark vision is a thing. But in Shadow Dark, dark vision is not a thing. I think right now I've been on a bit of a bent, whether this is a good thing or bad thing, where I try not to make things. In the past I have, though. I've made magic items that allow you to see in the dark. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that takes away too much from. So I think that's if you think about it, what's the magic item you don't make? You don't make the amulet of wishes, because it's just too overblown and powerful. Unless, of course, you want your players to really screw things up with the wishing, and there's an unlimited number. It's only a matter of time before they'll do something that's bad. Trust me. But also the other one I would say is flying and dark vision. So I'll mark it down, Pale Rider, but I'm probably not going to build on that one, just because it just doesn't. It sort of falls out of where my head is at with regard to designing stuff nowadays. I would have done that before. I just don't want to do that now. Why am I having trouble with this? Let's just give this a. Let's go. All right, and then if I go down here and paste this in, I'm going to leave it though. You've done a really good job of writing it up though. Here we go. Let's have a look here. James. Poison diffusion. Try to find one word, because we wind up with a name for a magic item that's it's almost like a government department name. Do you know what I mean? I typically find low-level magic items underwhelming. Looking forward to this one. Okay. All right, James. Well, I'll do my very best. Poison diffusion. When dipped into or touched to food, it will nullify poison. Oh, I see. I feel like that's a. Why would that be an amulet though? The concept behind it has got a lot of value. I can see that now. what I don't know that I want to do is I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to. So when dipped into food or touched to food, it will nullify poison. The effect is great, but I don't think I want that to be an amulet. I think that should be a magic item for another day. I don't know what that would be. A spoon, a magic spoon. Yeah, because that's what people want to carry around as magic cutlery, right? Okay, let's do some more while you guys are coming up with ideas. And if you want to rename some of these magic items that I've got here already, great. I'll mark the chat here, and let's pump through some more. Back over, make sure I do that. Okay, so next let us go over to cantrips. For me, I think something like magic items that are more about some sort of protection. I feel like when you put an amulet on or a necklace, the concept behind it is it's trying to protect you from something, whoever's wearing it. That's kind of where my head is at. It's kind of like when you put on gloves, it should be doing something with your hands, right? It's easy with a sword and armor, you kind of know what they're doing. Armor makes you harder to hit, improves armor class, does stuff to stop you from dying, basically, or going down. Weapons do more damage, or they hit more often, or they can do other things as well, of course. But I feel like protection is one of the big factors with regard to them. So Acid Splash, no, these are all attacky things. Blade Ward, now here's the thing. Blade Ward is a spell. Whenever a creature makes an attack roll against you, before the spell ends, the attack subtracts 1d4 from the attack. I'm not a huge fan of this, because it's a huge effect, and it's a cantrip. But I feel like we can do something with this. I didn't do anything with it before. It's come up a few times when I'm doing these live streams, and I think we'll do something with it this time. So let's take that concept and we're going to do a little bit of joshing around here. I'm going to just copy this bit, drop that in to save myself a bit of time. Okay, and then I'm going to take, while wearing this amulet to you, paste. Okay, so here we go. So here's the thing. Here's the effect. I'm going to call it the amulet of warding. So while wearing this amulet, you say make an attack roll against. So whenever a creature makes an attack roll against you, before the spell ends, forget about the spell ends because it's going to be an ongoing thing. The attacker subtracts. Now I had 1d4. I'm not going to do 1d4. I'm going to do 1. Now, if it has to be an attack roll, it's going to be a pain in the ass because there's going to be too many questions back and forth to get it done. So I think we get rid of the attack roll, and I think we go to the damage roll. Okay. While we're in this amulet, all damage you take is reduced by 1 from the damage roll. Okay, pretty simple. So while wearing this amulet, all damage you take is reduced by 1 from the damage roll. It's a very small effect. It's going to be really effective when you're dealing with something that gives has multiple attacks against you. Okay, while we're in this, all damage you take is reduced by 1. Now, here's the problem. The more attacks you take, the more likely it's going to kick into place. The more attacks that something does, the higher level you're dealing with in terms of a monster. Okay, while wearing this amulet, all damage you take is reduced by 1 from a single attack. So it will slightly scale. I'm not too worried about that, but it still means that at low level, you're really only losing, deducting the damage you take by 1 point. That was pretty easy. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's something that we don't need to worry about turning it on and off with an action or anything like that. It can be in effect all the time, and I think that's probably fine. There we go. Ward. Next thing. Let's keep going. Booming Blade, no, doesn't feel appropriate for an amulet. Chill Touch doesn't. Control Flames. Dancing Lights, not really. Druid, is there anything in Druidcraft? It might be. Let's have a look. There's the weather sensory thing, which I don't think it's no. The blooming thing. Harmless effects. No, I don't think any of that's really sort of suitable. Let's just leave that alone. Let's go. No Eldritch Blast. Elementalism. This is something that I'm interested in doing. It gave me the idea, but it hasn't actually constructed what I have in mind. So this is the type of amulet that I'm thinking in terms of when I see that. And I'm going to go here. Copy. Paste. Okay, so elemental protection. Now, will it be common though? It might not wind up being common. Its effect is probably going to be something else. But anyway, while we're in this amulet, you are immune to one type of elemental damage from the following. So fire, cold, what else is there? Fire, cold, need a few more. D&D 5e damage types. No acid, no bludgeoning, cold and fire. Force, yeah, let's add force because that's kind of like blowing in the wind. It's air basically, it feels like that. And then there's also thunder. And then there's the water one, which I feel like is the cold side of things. But force and thunder I can see. Lightning too, I could see that making a lot of sense. I feel like that's an elemental thing. So let's go here. Force, okay, fire, force, what else was the other one? Cold, fire, force, lightning and thunder. Okay. I don't think that is going to fall into the bracket of being a common magic item though. I think that will wind up being an uncommon magic item. Well, wearing this amulet, you select one type of elemental damage you are immune to from the following. Okay, I think that's where I wanted it to be. Right, so from that idea, I pull out a few things. Water, I think that's, yeah, that seems right. Okay, let's keep moving. I'm going to get to the end of this page, then I'll go back to chat, see what you guys are saying, and then I'll keep working through the pages. Encode thoughts. I suppose it could be, but I feel like that's more something you put on your head. So I don't want to mess with this one. So I'm going to leave it alone. So I think that's the end of this one. Friends, it's a charm effect. I tend to stay away from charm effects if I can. So page 2, we'll start this in a second. But before we do that, yeah, hopefully you guys have come up with some ideas for these names for these other magic items. One is immune to being charmed, one from immune to being petrified, another one immune to poison or being poisoned. One is kind of like being immune to being frightened. It's kind of, I guess heroism sounds fine, but it could be something else. You let me know. I probably need to just highlight this as well. But I am thinking that maybe that feels like it's way too strong to be just a common magic item. Or common magic items sort of effect. So we probably need to... It doesn't matter if you're playing with a game which doesn't use that sort of designation at all, right? But if you are, that would. So... Okay. Got that. Okay, yep. Okay, so we're going to push this to uncommon, I think. I think that's what we probably need to do with that one. Uncommon. Somebody has a better idea about how that should be structured, you let me know, but I'm going to aim for that for now. Okay, so got that. Let's go back to the chat. See what you guys have cooked up. It's all on today. I see the competition is strong. Hi, Fred. Fred Huber, thank you for being here, a patron and a moderator. Thanks for showing up. And I see Pale Rider's you really are being really specific. You're doing a great job there. I can see you doing a... Okay, Amulet of Shining. Dim light, 5 feet radius. No, I'm not going to do that. They do make cantrips way OP in 5e. Like, yeah. A lot of cantrips are probably just a bit too strong. And they scale as well, which they probably shouldn't. But there are complaints about people saying that cantrips don't scale and they should scale. And, it's best not to go there. Right, Pale Rider. Here's your idea. Amulet of Reading. The amulet is in the shape of a donut when looking through the center hole and passed over written text. It will allow user to read the text. Oh, this sounds really old school to me. I like it. It's really good. So I'm going to put that in. Something to work on. Magic resistance +1 to save versus spells. I mean, yeah, I suppose. I think they already exist, though. Do you know what I mean? I think that sort of thing already, amulets that do that already kind of exist. Is it the Master's Amulet? No. It's not the Master's Amulet. Apparently not. Okay, what else is there? Amulet, 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 amulets. Amulet of health is that's just boosting your constitution. I'm not going to bother doing that. Protection from there, from turning. Amulet of planes, clockwork amulet, common mechanisms. Okay, all right. So that's okay. Let's make it. It's a basic trope to have an amulet that boosts saving throws. So yeah, yep. Let's take it. And we'll make it. +1. Oops, that didn't work. Let's try it again. Paste. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Resistance. We'll come back to that. We'll make it, since it's a pretty... You would think there would be one like that. Oh, here we go. Pale Rider. I really like this. Amulet of Lycanthropy. The wearer is immune to the Lycanthrope curse. That's really good. I think you get triple A's for that baby. Heck, we'll give you 5 A's for that one. That's really, really smart. So it suppresses. I don't think you're immune. I think it suppresses the Lycanthrope curse. I like that. Let's do that. That is a nice one. I'm putting that at the top. Amulet of Lycanthropy. This is. Oh, I'm very excited about that one. Cool. All right, let's keep going. That would be a blessed silver amulet. I suppose you could say so. It could be cool, but I think the amulet of Lycanthropy is fine with me. Hand it to a werewolf. Watch the DM's head explode. Is that what we're trying to do? I don't think the plan is not to have the DM's head explode. We're trying not to do that. Amulet of the Lich. Upon the death, where you keep putting this in here. If the amulet is then laid on a fleshy corpse, the soul will be able to regenerate and inhabit the body. This is a high level magic item, which you're describing. It probably needs to be created as a thing, but it's not something I'm going to focus on today. So I've made a note of it, but I'm probably not working on it today. The other ones I like a lot more. Fred Huber. Amulets, the eye loop of the jeweler can determine the value of gems. No, I think if we're going to do that, we need to have goggles or glasses that do that. Or a mask. I can see a mask doing that. I don't think an amulet. The eye loop idea we've already kind of got, so we're going to leave that alone. The Farsight amulet, while holding it up to the amulet, looking through the... Oh, it's a telescope. Yeah, I don't know. No, it doesn't strike me as... I feel like we need to do glasses and goggles and or masks at some point, so we can get this out of people's system. Elemental protection. Roll a die each day to determine the protection type. Oh shit. Do I like that idea? James, you are so naughty. A little spanky for you. But it's very tempting. Do I want to do that though? How many elements do I have? Do I have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've only got 5. What would be the 6th element? For me to put in a dice rolling mechanic for this, what would be number 6 in terms of the element? Look, It's very Shadow Dark. I can imagine a magic item in Shadow Dark doing this. In 5e, probably not. Other versions of D&D, absolutely. Yes, I can see that. Probably not 3.5 or 4e, but definitely older versions of D&D and other sort of clones and copies and similar games. But we only have 5 elements right now. I don't know what else I would put there. I don't feel like acid is an element. Acid is acid. So I'm going to put this in here in question marks. Just drop in your little suggestion there. If I can figure out how to do it, I'll do it. If I can't, I can't. But there. You lost the internet on the PC? Oh no, are you on your phone now? I know you don't do much moderation, but you do a lot of thinking, and I appreciate it. Okay, Amulet of Truth. When a lie is told by someone other than the wearer, the temperature of the amulet will change. Ooh. Oh, I like this. I think we can definitely do something with that. I've got a couple here now that I really like that would be easy to make into magic items without too much trouble. That's really quite cool. I like that idea a lot. Nice. Amulet of Ironside. The amulet gives the wearer an armor class of a certain set of armor determined by the GM. Okay. I'm fine with that to a certain degree. Because really what it's doing is the amulet is replacing a piece of mundane armor, an armor set. You wear an amulet rather than you wear armor itself. I guess the point of wearing that would be to eliminate having some of the penalties, though, of wearing real armor. And so I can see that taking me a little bit of time to decipher how I would do that. So I'm going to put that further down the list. But I see what you're doing. I think it's a good idea. When I look at it, I know I would have to put in some things to help stop it from being just way too good as an option. So yeah, okay. Now I'm really going to have to think a bit harder, aren't I? Phew, okay. Who would have guessed? He has to think. All right, so I'm going to pump in this again. Hashtag. What are your magic amulet ideas? And simple, common, and low power. Okay, all right. Pump that in. We've got that going. All right, so I keep working my way through here. Back to the page we're working on, because we've got a couple we can work on. And I think we should work on those because they were really interesting. And then we'll go back to that page and work our way through the cantrips. Okay, Amulet of Lycanthropy. I think it's the Lycanthropy Amulet. I think we need to reverse this. Amulet. And we go here. And we go... paste. Oh, I just had an idea. I know how I can do this so that it's actually even better than before. Oh, good. Okay. So we've got to go bold here. Lycanthropy Amulet. Wondrous item. Common. I feel like common will be fine. While wearing this amulet, it suppresses suppresses the effects of the lycanthrope curse, so the wearer doesn't transform or lose control. So that's what I want to put in here. Additionally, you are immune. Additionally, you are immune to gaining I guess contracting on. I'll just put gaining lycanthrope curse if you don't have it. I think. Okay, that's what I want to do. Do I feel like that is too much? No. No, I like this. I think that's awesome. I think that is a magic item. Very, very specific. Still really useful. I still feel like it would fall into the realm of being common. It would, yeah, it would solve a lot of problems for people as well. Yeah, I like that. Can we do this for the vampire? I feel like the vampire is a different story because this is a curse, and a vampire. The problem with vampires is when you become a vampire, it's not the original person is no longer the soul, or the individual who's in the body that has become a vampire is no longer the original person. It is a different entity completely. The body is simply being utilized by a dark spirit who retains the memories of the original person and uses that to imitate them, but they're not. It's not actually them. So, yes, I've learned this from AJ Pickett. He's explained it to me many times. So it banged it into my brain. The Amulet of Resistance. I think we can probably do this one too fairly quickly. Let's do that as well. So maybe the vampire one wouldn't work so much well because it doesn't make any sense, because it's not something you can kind of just get rid of. When you kill a vampire, you can't really correct the vampire issue because it's not really your character anymore. It's something else. Okay, let's go here. Let's go copy. Now I think there's some instructions about +1s. This would have to be an uncommon magic item because it's a +1 bonus. And when you give a +1 bonus to anything, I really feel like you're moving it up, particularly for 5e. It doesn't matter for other systems. I wouldn't give it a toss. But I'm pretty sure that is the normal process. Max bonus. So let's go here. If we can build it in such a way that it can be used in Shadow Dark as well, that'd be good. Amulet of Resistance. While wearing this amulet, you gain a +1 bonus to saving throws, or stat checks, ability checks to resist a magical effect. Okay, so it has to now be uncommon, though. And I see that's why you used the word magical resistance, didn't you? I see what you're trying to do now. I understand. Cool, cool. I think that's got that one down. This one is an interesting idea. Let's work with that as well. Oops. Maybe if I push this down a little bit, I can see it on the other page. Make it a little bit easier. I still would like a name for the amulet that makes you immune to being charmed, and the amulet that makes you immune to being petrified, and the one that makes you immune to being poisoned. Heck, even the one that makes you immune to being frightened. Oh. I got it. There we go. That's the name. Okay, while wearing this amulet, I don't want to go immune. I want to go something else. Let's do something else with it. You have advantage on all 20-sided dice rolls to resist being frightened and magical fear effects. Resist. There we go. It's different now. It's not the same as the helmet. It pretty much would cover any version of whatever you're playing. The only time it would still apply to basic D&D, AD&D, 3.5, 4E, 5E easily, whatever, and some of the old school essential stuff and the OSR. Yeah, and it will apply to Shadow Dark as well. It would work. Okay, cool. Right, so that's that one. Now, I was working on the Amulet of Truth. This is going to be interesting. Let's see. Copy, go down, and paste. Got some very good ideas here. While wearing this amulet, all lies. It's a hard thing for a game master to deal with. It lies told. Then the wearer changes the, not the temperature, changes the color of the amulet from white to purple. How is that going to work? I know what you see. You're trying to use. It's kind of like a temperature. It's kind of using temperature as a guide. It's like the moonstone, right? They change by temperature. They change color as a result of temperature. But really, the temperature is not what we're dealing with here. It's the fact that somebody told a lie. Have I structured it in such a way that it's going to work? Is it still? I guess the question is, what is the level of zone of truth, basically. Truth. D and D5E. Do I have it? Zone of Truth. It is a, what level spell though is it? How strong? It's level 2. It's level 2 spell. Well, no, we can build it, but it would have to be a slightly more powerful effect. So I think it's going to be here. Uncommon. I'll learn this amulet. All lies told by someone other than the wearer changes the colour of the amulet from white to purple. Do I need to have a range? Distance? Okay, while wearing this amulet, all lies told by someone other than the wearer changes the colour of the amulet from white to purple within 60 feet. There you go. We've got a range, so it's I mean, rules lawyers and optimizers and power gamers are going to find a way through this and make it an issue. I mean, I can see this being a magic item that can be exploited fairly easily. Just because of the wording, I might get better at figuring out how to describe this, but I think that's the best I can do for now. Okay, now, Amulet of Reading, which is really, this is really just like comprehend languages as a spell, which is level 1 and 5e. So common is fine. What we want to do is we want to just make sure I've worded it correctly. You've done most of the work though. So let's see. Okay. Amulet of Reading. And I don't believe there is an Amulet of Reading that exists in 5e already. So this is probably the only time that I'm kind of letting the amulet shape be used outside of the norm. Or do I want to do that? Amulet of Reading. No, I don't want to. I would much prefer Spectacles of Reading to be a magic item. And when you put on the spectacles, those spectacles allow you to do this rather than being a donut shaped amulet. Yeah. And now that I've done that, I'm taking that, I'm not working on that today, and I'm putting it underneath. Putting it down the bottom. Amulet. There we go. Do I put it there? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back to it. So we did that one. We did that one. I've got to that far. I don't want to do those because they would be far too powerful or a bit confusing for me to figure out. So, okay. Let's do another one. Work my way through D&D Beyond. Spells, friends, no. Frostbite, no, not a chance. Guidance. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We've kind of done this before. Amulet of Guidance. Whether it's advantage or a +1, it's going to force it into being an uncommon, really. It's not going to be common. It's going to, a lot of these are probably just a little bit on the high side. They're not really falling into the common. They're falling into the uncommon. Uncommon. Yeah, uncommon. Uncommon. I'm fine with it being common rather than uncommon. Maybe not. Yeah, I think maybe we need to tone down the power of some of the things we're making, including myself. Reduced by 1 for a single attack. This is probably uncommon as well, when I think about it. Blade of Warding. Amulet of Warding. It is probably an uncommon magic item. And this is probably definitely an uncommon magic item as well. Maybe even higher. Okay, moving along. Advantage. courage. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to... Oh, yeah, I'll think about this more. I'm going to get all fluffied up otherwise. Okay, keep going through this. Guidance, do I want to do it or not? I mean, you could, but I don't think I want to. It would be an easy magic item to make. But then, is it going to be across the board with anything? There isn't really an amulet of guidance right now, right? It doesn't exist. So we could make it, and it would be a thing. But it would still wind up being uncommon, not common. Just because of the... Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Copy. We'll do it. We've got to trim things down a little bit, I think. Of guidance. Okay, well, it's amulets. You gain a +1 bonus to all ability checks. Okay, pretty strong magic item if you ask me. Uncommon it is, not common. Alright, what else do we go? Let's go here. Gust, no. Infestation. Oh, we hadn't done that. We could do that. That wouldn't be a stupid idea at all. Like we had one for petrification, but we should definitely have... I don't know what you would call it, but we should do one that makes you immune to disease. That's an easy one to do. What would it be called, though? Well, in this amulet, you are immune to all diseases and magical disease effects. To all diseases, magical or not. All diseases. No, just all diseases. Let's just do that. Nice and simple. What the heck is it called? I don't know. You tell me. Let's keep going. Keep going down the list. What else have we got here? Infestation. It actually causes stuff. We're trying to go protection, aren't we? Lightning damage. Again, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be that much fun. We've got the elemental one already that covers that, so let's leave that alone. Magic hand doesn't make any sense. Mending doesn't make any sense. Message I don't feel like is fitting for an amulet. Mind Sliver is a terrible spell. It's a good spell because it's cool and it does lots and it's really a huge advantage. But it's a terrible design spell because it's just going to mess with things too much in your game. I think Mind Sliver is like silvery barbs. Just ban that shit. When my group played with silvery barbs for about 3 months before we were like, yeah, it's too good. It's a spell that should go. Okay, all right. Let's have a look what people have said in the chat. Man, it's so warm in my office today. I've got every window open, but I'm cooking. All right. Oh, blimey, look at all the ideas. We've got a lot of stuff. Amulet of Vampirism. Gives the wearer all the abilities of a vampire. The wearer must drink or at least a quart of blood. This is not what I was thinking about. I want to go down in power, not up in power. Down in power, not up. Not working on those sorts of things. The problem is nobody's going to get to use these things because they're going to cause too much trouble. the stream. Yeah, we need to go down the power level, not up the power level. Something quirky and strange, but is low power. That's what we're really looking for. Things that you can put into your game, and you don't have to fret that it get wrecked because the players have got something that's too strong. The heartbeat amulet. It pulsed light and time with a wearer's heart. Healer's tool. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's a healer amulet of healing already in most games. I don't know that there's necessarily one in 5e. It's called something else. I think we'll just leave that idea alone, though, frankly. All right, okay, here we go. Pale Rider, you've got here. Cavalier's amulet gives the wearer's mount a bonus to speed, endurance, and health. Also, exotic amulet mounts have a more favourable reaction to the wearer. I know what this is. Oh, you've got some names here. Hi, Shy X. You've got some names for me to use. Thank you for telling me what they're supposed to be voted, designated to. That's helpful. I really appreciate that. Cavalier's amulets gives the wearer's mount a bonus to speed, endurance. I feel like it's not you that wears it. It would have to be the animal that wears it to make this. But we're calling this the Cavalier's amulet. Health. No, it's too powerful. I'm just not even going to look at it. Sorry, Pale Rider. You came up with some great ideas, but this is courage. Now, devotion amulet. Devotion and charm. Is that going to make sense? Is that our devotion? Devotion. Define this word. Does it make sense? Devotion. Love, loyalty, enthusiasm for a personal activity. I don't know that I can see that as being the word that I would use. Good try. Pure blood amulet. Poison immunity. Oh, I see. Smooth stone. Uncompromising amulet. Charm. Okay, you got a couple of... Oh, Pale Rider's gone with uncompromised. I think there was another word we came up with. Me and AJ were thinking about this and trying to figure out what was the right word for this. And we did it. I know we did. Not so long ago. There was another word that we could use to deal with something that allowed you to not be charmed. And I had noted it down, and because we did essentially I'm sure it was a helmet of some kind that you stuck on your head that stopped you from being charmed. And it was defiance. That's what it was. It was the helm of defiance. We had the helmet of heroism, but then we had the helm of defiance. And that seemed like a good... So I'd forgotten about that. It's only a week ago. So why I forgot, I don't know. But I did. And that would be for being charmed. It's frightened. We've got charmed. Okay, so here it is. Paste. So defiance is kind of the word, isn't it, Fred? Defiance. Theosaurus. What else is another word that we can use? Opposition. Disobedience. Disobedience, subversion. Dissent. Opposition. Resistance, no. Insubordination, too much. Subversion. Opposition. Opposition can work. And since we've already got... Okay. Let's do opposition. And since I have already made one that is essentially stop you from being charmed helmet, giving you, I think it's immunity. So we've kind of duplicated that. Let us go down and do something else with this. Let's go with the concept that you get advantage. rather than, yeah, because that would then be slightly different to the last magic item, rather than they wind up just reproducing the same thing over and over and over again to the point of being annoying. So now we take out that effect and then we drop it in, which is pasting it. You have advantage in all different rolls to resist being charmed. I feel like that is probably where we need to be. So yeah, that helped a lot. Charmed and magical charm effects, so we just need to make sure we've got that in there as well. And magical charm effects. Oops. Magical. Oops. Charm effects. Okay. Disadvantage are really a big problem. It's not a guaranteed thing. You can roll high, you can roll low, your chances go up. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to think too much about that. Okay, so what was the other one? We were talking about, you've got a few other here. Okay, here we go. Warning, the warming amulet. Always warm and comfortable, ignores extreme cold. Oh, I see. I get it. We actually have a magic item that's kind of like that already. Cooling amulet, always cool and comfortable, ignores extreme heat. We've got one that kind of duplicates that as well, Shy X. It's the amulet of the elemental protection. Cooling amulet. I went with temperature so that the wearer could feel the temperature changing on their chest. I'm going to go with a color change rather than the temperature, but I see where you're going with this. I get it. The rock element can be used to smash. Also usable as a sling bullet. I'm a little bit lost. The bigger lie, the bigger the temperature change. I see. Druid Sprig. Druidic becomes apparent while wearing the amulet. You know Druidic while wearing. Oh, so what you were saying is you want an amulet that allows you to learn a very specific language. Druidic Sprig is something that okay. I think I understand what you're trying to do with this. It's kind of less of an amulet and probably more of a necklace. This is what I'm assuming. This is actually not a bad idea. I kind of like this idea a lot. Nice. Okay, for range, I would say only detects lies to questions the wearer hears someone in their presence. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the truth one. While wearing this amulet, all lies told by someone to other than the wearer changes the color of the amulet from white to purple that you hear. That you hear them say. Okay, I think I've got that nailed down, Pale Rider. I think I've got that sorted out. The grass whistle amulet. Magical instruments. Wind can be used to make a sound that can be heard 300 feet away. Can sound like a bird call. So, Shy X, I want to take just a moment to just point out your idea and say that I'm not going to do that today. It's not because it's not a good idea. It's because I want to do magical instruments. So for me, this idea is something we do later on when we do magical instruments, because I think there's definitely a place for creating magical instruments, and I like the idea a lot of having magical instruments. So I'm going to just pencil this away for now. A monocle, much like a jeweler's. Yeah, I get it, but again, I think that's the wrong type of magic item for an amulet. I think we do that for glasses or monocles or goggles or something like that. Not an amulet. One ring amulet. Adorn is one ring. I'm not sure. I don't understand what that means. I know you. Is this a Lord of the Rings joke? The lantern amulet. Tiny and wearable, shines either as a hooded or bullseye lantern. I feel like you'd get blinded. I don't think it's a very practical magic item or even a practical item full stop. I feel like you would be in a lot of trouble all the time. Fascinating amulet. Causes anyone not wearing it to have disadvantage on perception. I am lost as to how you would even incorporate that into your game. Hello, Jasper. Jasper is a patron. How are you doing? How you managed to find some time away from your teaching? Amulet of incorporation for the amulet against disease. Oh, incorruption. Is that a real word? The Perseus amulet, immune to petrification. I don't know. Well, I could call it the Perseus amulet. I think most people would be completely lost if I called it the Perseus amulet. I'm not against the idea. I just don't know that anybody, like how many people nowadays know who the heck Perseus is. Like I grew up on Greek myths, live in New Zealand, and not Greek. Okay, no Greek heritage whatsoever. And I know them, but I don't think most other people do who are growing up nowadays. So it's only going to be, I feel like I'm going to have to figure out a different way of doing this. Anyway, keep moving along. Immune to petrification. Amulet of sister-in-law. Oh my God. Smelling salts amulet. Can be used to relieve incapacitated condition. I'm going to get rid of the incapacitated condition and I'm going to do something else with it. I am not against the idea of the smelling salts amulets though, but I think it needs to be structured a little bit differently for it to work. So we're going to go back. I'm going to find a section. We've got the Druidic Sprig, which I think I know what to do with. We'll put this in here as well. Can be used to this is basically an amulet of wound closure. Isn't there a thing called that? It already exists. You're saying smelling salts? No, I don't know that I want to do that. Not do I want an amulet that moves you from being incapacitated or unconscious to being no longer? No, I don't think I do. Not an amulet. Okay, so sorry about that. It's just thinking about that a little bit harder in terms of what would happen. Amulet of unyielding or unwavering for the amulet against unyielding. I can see unyielding, opposition, unyielding. Opposition, unyielding. Oh. Unyielding or unwavering. I think unyielding is the word, dude. I think unyielding is probably better than opposition. Unyielding. Unyielding. Yes. Let's do that. It's in. She's a thing. Yeah, okay, all right. So what else am I doing here? I think that's that, Jasper. I think that's the good idea. I'm going to come back to my document in a second. I just need to get through the rest of this chat. You guys have got lots of ideas here. Amulet of Shadow, where the wearer whispers and names the amulet and says kill. The amulet will produce a shadow that will hunt down the target. This is a very powerful item. It is I'm sure I've seen this in a movie or read it in a story or something like that a long time ago. I'm sure I've come across this before. Maybe read it in a novel, seen it in a movie. Yeah. That's a high level powered magic item. I think yeah. Amulet of the Hearth protects against extreme temperatures. We've kind of we've got that already. We've kind of got like a elemental protection one. Yeah, but outside of yourself, Jasper, and a few other people, is anybody else significantly going to be able to figure out what the heck's going on there? Unyielding, I think, is going to probably be a better one in corruptation. I just don't think it's going to be I'll think about it some more. You doing all right with the teaching? It's not crushing your soul, is it? Right, beehive amulet houses a swarm of bees. I love that idea on so many different levels, Shy X. It is such a simple magic item. We have definitely got to make this thing. Does it make any bloody sense? Absolutely not. Is it a practical magic item? No. Will it be exploited? Absolutely. Will it go disastrous for the players? Absolutely. Because you don't necessarily control the swarm of bees. So that's the way I'm going to write it. I'm assuming that was what your intent was. Anyway, it has to be a swarm of angry bees. That way, everybody suffers. Next, necklace of fireballs. That already exists. I'm not making it. It's one of the most powerful necklaces or amulets you can have. Is a necklace of fireballs. Oh my gosh. Heavy amulet. If wearer is knocked prone or moved against their will, uses a reaction. The problem is it's keying in too many 5e mechanics, and I just do not give a shit about 5e. Even though, to be fair, Shy X, I spend every single week designing or redesigning a monster or making a 5e race or species or background stuff, like everything, magic items, you name it. But reactions piss me off too much, and yeah, the heavy amulet is probably not going to be going nowhere for me. Necklace of Fireballs exists. Original hardcover DMG, yeah. Look, I mean, it's probably part of the Creative Commons, but I don't want to make it again. Assassin gift. The owner of the necklace can command it to shrink and choke the wearer. That is some very sick stuff there. Fred Huber did get promoted. Do you know how it happened? It's because somebody reminded me that Fred had been supporting me on Patreon for so long that he had got to, I think it was $80 at least, if not more. And I think it was Big Kid had said it's time for Fred, and not to mention that Fred spends so much time in the chat presenting ideas and sharing his thoughts. It seemed like a sensible change. So yeah, he got promoted a while back. And yeah, it's kind of what I normally do, unless you're a dick on Patreon, and if you keep supporting me for like usually to about $80, I just promote you as being a moderator on my channel, just because it seems like a sensible thing to do, a nice thing to do too, but a sensible thing to do. So this is why I do it. I do it that way. That's my secret, if you're wondering to know, Jasper. If you're curious as to how it all works and what I was up to and what was the system, that's basically my system. I spilled my guts. Yeah, you're going to get there one day, Jasper. Don't you worry. Okay. All right, let's have a look. Let's go back to the magic items, because we've got a couple here that we definitely have to make. I feel like it would be cruel and unusual punishment not to do them, so we definitely need to do them. Yeah. Actually, I need to mark on the chat where I'm up to, because you guys have put out so many ideas. It's basically a compass. A compass amulet. Alright, okay. I got it. I grabbed it. Done it. Copy. Yeah, I know. No, he's already calculated it. He's like, I'm almost there. It can't be much longer. His response is probably more, Jasper in his mind is probably saying, I don't really care. Anyway, let me see. Let's go over here. Oh, you guys are going to get dumped with so much stuff in a couple of weeks, by the way. I'm going to have to apologize because there's going to be a lot. Here we go. So the beehive amulet is definitely one of my favorite ideas that have been presented on the live stream. So let's write it up as a thing. Did I get this right? I'm looking at the wrong thing. What am I looking at? I'm all over the place. Sorry, people. Okay. There is a moment of confusion on my part. So let's I think this is definitely a common magic item. But it's the kind of magic item you really shouldn't use. Because it is kind of like a wild card. Let's go here. While wearing this amulet, you can use an action to release a swarm of angry bees that attack anyone within what's a decent range for bees? So years ago, I was living in the Wairarapa in New Zealand as a kid. Long time. It's like, geez, how long ago? It would be more than 50 years. Is it more than 50 years? More than 40 years. Maybe more than 45 years. Somewhere in there. I don't know how old was I? 5, 6, 7? I can't remember. And we went around to a friend's place. As you do, say hi and see how things are going and so forth. And what do you know? They're not home. We didn't know why. But apparently the bees had moved in and they were very angry. And anybody who went near that house, they just attacked. So, yeah, this is the item that is getting made today. The beehive amulet. While wearing this amulet, you can use an action to release a swarm of angry bees that attack anyone within... We had to run a long way to get away from them. It was 60 feet. While wearing, so you've actually got to let them attack you as well. How useful a magic item is this? But is it funny? Oh yeah, definitely. Have no problems having as many of those around as possible. Next one, the Druidic Sprig necklace. So we need to go here, go down a bit, chuck in this. Why am I having trouble with this? I'm having trouble with this because, here we go. Paste. So while wearing this amulet, you understand it's a necklace or pendant. It's not really, it's a necklace. You understand the Druid language and secret symbols. That is not word symbols, Fred. Okay, I think it's something like that. I think that's what you were trying to aim for, correct? No? Wrong? I don't know. Okay, so while wearing this necklace, you understand Druidic. You understand the Druidic language and secret symbols. I think that's right. I think that's where we needed to be. Okay, so that's that one. All right, let's go back to here. I will see if I can add in a few more. Oh, they've got the compass one. I don't know if I want to do the compass one. Minor illusion, no. Mold earth, no. Poison spray, no. No. Prestidigitation. Is there something in prestidigitation that might be useful we can port over? Snuffing out a fire, no. Cleaning, not really. Warm flavour, no. Colour. Trinkets. Not really. I don't think there's anything there. The Swiss Army knife is probably not going to help me today, apparently. Produce flame. I don't think so. We've got resistance. We've got magical resistance already. Sorry, people. I'm tired. Shape water. Shillelagh. None of those are really that interesting. I think we can skip these. Move on. Okay, so let's go back to chat and see what you guys have cooked up in chat. Poured across anything else. How many have we got so far? We've got a few, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. Okay. All right. Doing good. All right, let's just go back to chat, see what you got. What have you come up with, people? You want the wrench. No problems. You keep doing your thing. You'll get there eventually. Of confusion on your part. Many times am I confused. More confused than normal. Anyway, familiar amulet. Oh, God. Only usable by a person who can cast Find Familiar. Casting Find Familiar spell on the serpent-shaped necklace allows the familiar spirit to inhabit and animate the necklace. It's very interesting. It is not the amulet that I want to make. Just because it is too tied to 5e, and I would like to... I've been saying this a lot, but if you hadn't figured it out... I'm on a bender right now. An undrunk bender, as it happens. And my undrunk bender has got me doing stuff around trying to make things as system agnostic as possible. So I don't want to make things that are absolutely around making a particular system. I like D&D. Don't get me wrong. But I have been playing 5e, and I've been playing basic D&D, and I've been playing other games recently that are sort of adjacent to AD&D or to D&D itself. But I would like to be able to make magic items that you can take and you can put into any version of D&D or a fantasy game, and it feel like it fits there without having to do too many adjustments. Yeah, that's the question. That is often my question. Like, often Shadow Dark, it's like a plus. It'll be a bonus, or it'll be a bonus of +1 or +2 or advantage, or sometimes it's a narrative thing. It's a bit hard to describe. We'll use Shadow Dark knowledge to make it work for familiar. I'm going to have... So Pale Rider, I'll work on it, but I'm probably going to have to think about it, which usually means that I need Dirt Pickles and AJ Pickett with me to help me push me in the right direction. I want to make more magic items, so let's do some more. So we'll get there. Let's just keep fiddling along. Playing 5e is like playing with your third cousin away from the family at a cookout. Well, it's just which version of 5e you're playing. Are you playing 2014? Are you playing 2024? Or your version of 5e? Like it's a little bit hard to establish what the heck is going on nowadays. So, yeah. So this is why I've been trying really hard to make magic items and stuff that is more system agnostic, or at least compatible with any version of D&D, if at all possible. So here we go. Let's go back to where I was. We got to the Druidic Sprig necklace, which is now a thing, and it would work pretty much anywhere. Let's go through and see what else we got in terms of cantrips that we could use. If you guys hang around for, let's say, another 10 minutes, I will show you what I've been working on behind closed doors, if you like. Because I've been working on Shadow Dark classes and playable ancestries for this game, which is basically Dungeons and Dragons. It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's just in one book. That's the only difference. Everything. So if you want to see it, I will show you it in the live stream in about 10 minutes. How's that sound? And if you don't want to, you tell me in the comments, fuck no, Fred. I have no interest. Don't show me. And if you want to see it, say, yes, Fred. Fuck yeah, I want to see it. A little bit of swearing going on there. Just to make sure the kids know to stay away. Okay, all right, let's keep going. Starry Whisper. What the heck is that? Spare the Dying. I thought about Spare the Dying, and it's too much like a wound closure pendant thingy that they've got in the game already. Starry Whisper. No, it's like, let's turn on the lights and blind myself. No, I don't think so. Let's leave that alone. Keep going. Thaumaturgy. Do I really? You know, I've been saving thaumaturgy and the idea of shouting really loud for a mask. You alter the appearance of your eyes. This is a mask, isn't it? This is the Helm of Dread, essentially. It's a mask. Booming voice. Again, I feel like it's a mask. Fire, no. Invisible hands. Invisible frisky hands. No, I don't think so. We'll leave it alone. Tremors. No. Phantom sounds. None of that really fits for an amulet. Let's keep going. Thunderclap. No. We've got something related to thunderclap. It just doesn't create a thunderclap. This is definitely... We're going to have so much fun doing magical musical items. Magical musical items. Say that fast. Magical musical items. Magical musical items. Slower. Easier. Okay, moving on. Sorry, people. I'm obviously losing it. Okay, so I think cantrips have been exhausted. Let's do level 1 spells. Because there's a lot of them, right? There's bound to be something that I've missed that we can like, yep, that's the one. I probably should check chat again. I forgot about you guys. Sorry. Let's check to see what ideas you have, and then I'll go through the level 1 spells. Probably not going to get through all of them because I'm going to run out of time. I'll try a rewrite. No problems. You try a rewrite, and if you can come up with a way of making it a bit more... Because I know there's enough people out there playing different versions of D&D that something that's more system agnostic in terms of magic items is far more useful. Amulet of Illusion allows a minor illusion. I mean, look, I love minor illusion, and it is. You don't know how hard it has been for me to stop making a minor illusion magic item, because it's like catnip for me. I mean, it could be a thing. I just don't want to do it because minor illusion is one of those spells that causes so many arguments at the table. I love the spell so much, but as a person who loves playing the monk and the wizard, it just fucks for the table too much. So I'm kind of probably going to leave it alone. The Tool Amulet, an amulet that can transform into a tool set. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit. It's really not the right shape for it, right? It's kind of it's kind of strange as a concept, but also really appealing. I really like that a lot. I made a 5e monk that had minor illusion as a cantrip from the background that they gave 3. Love playing this guy. I love playing monks. And a monk that casts minor illusion is, yeah. Don't stop. Minor illusion for the win. Why use 5e spell lists? They are boo-boo. Well, because it's just easy for me to access quickly, frankly. And let's get real, most of the 5e spells are just repurposed from older versions of D&D with a slight rewording. Sometimes the wording isn't that much different at all. Sometimes it's really similar. Okay, so let's go back to where we were, which is going through and coming up with some stuff. I need to think a little bit about the tool one. I like the idea, I just don't know how I would put it together yet. So let's keep going through this. For those of you who want to see what I've been working on, Shadow Dark is like basic D&D and 5e together. It's so similar to those games. By the way, okay, I gotta stop doing that. Focus, magic items. Here we go. Magic items. Alarm, no. Animal friendship. Animal friendship. Animal friendship. It's an enchantment spell. Why am I all right with this idea and not something else? It's trying to charm somebody. Animal friendship. It's like the Snow White amulet. It's literally like the Snow White amulet, isn't it? Let's see. Can I do that? I might actually wind up causing a problem here. Just going to warn you that this is probably not going to be a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Well, let's see how it turns out in the end. So paste the animal friendship amulet. Okay. I don't even want to put a saving throw on the animals. What happens when you all the little animals just chase after you constantly? Yeah, okay, so here we go. While wearing this amulet, all small animals love you and will follow you around. This is, yeah, okay. I'm losing my mind. It's the heat, people. Follow you around till you remove the amulet or die. Let's continue with my little writing here. They will not follow your instructions or fight beside you, but they do eat your food, sleep in your bedroll, sleep in your bedroll, and climb all climb all over you. Most inconvenient. Shit. Sorry, it's not the right word. Convenient times. Sorry, I killed myself. This is not the type of magic items you should make, people. Okay, see this thing? Bad. Bad, Fred. Bad, bad, bad. This is really bad. This will cause so many problems. I can think of somebody who would still wear it, though, in my group. It would cause so many problems. Sorry. Okay. Oh, pull it together, Fred. Okay. I don't know if I could keep doing this. I'm going to lose it again. I need a drink of water. Give me some water. It might help. God almighty, look at that thing. It is such a terrible idea. It looks so innocent too, but it's not. It's like kryptonite for animal lovers. It's kryptonite for animal lovers. It literally is. It would be Kirsty's downfall in my group. Absolutely. And I've just created it. I shouldn't do that. Anyway. Sorry, people. Back to chat. Let's have a quick look there before I lose my mind. Okay. Okay, why not look at Rifts or Earth Dawn for spell ideas? Because I don't have them. And I have no intention of buying any more books. It is too expensive for me to buy books anymore in New Zealand. It's just no longer possible. I was just lucky that I managed to buy a book recently last year, and it got shipped to me in a decent time frame. Otherwise, it would have just not been a possibility anymore. We're talking about Kirsten. I've been watching a lot of movies, so if you haven't figured it out, I love my movies. But anyway, let's stay on topic. So I said, if you remember the Halloween Star Trek episode called Cat's Paw, for the amulets. Oh, similar to wands, do you? All right, okay. For those of you who are unaware, the live stream where I make magical amulets with you is going to stop right now. And now, I'm not going to stop the live stream. I'm going to show you what I've been working on in the background. Okay? I think I've got, how many more days? I've got 15 more days to get my work done and get my shites sorted out. So I've been making stuff for this book, which will be available on my Patreon, Wally's Patreon, AJ's Patreon, and on DriveThruRPG, hopefully very early March. And that is 10 classes for Shadow Dark and at least 14 ancestries, which is basically a species or race. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've been working on. How's that sound? Okay? And then I'm going to go because I've just been crying over the silliness that I was doing with that magic item. So I thought I would show you that, and then So yeah. Yes, you are so confused. This is not what you do in a live stream. You do not change topics in the middle of a live stream and do stuff. Okay? But here we go. So I'll mark it here. Shadow Dark Preview. And yes, it will be alpha playtest stuff, and it will be, you can pay what you want when it's available. And it will be coming out very, very soon, because I'm almost done. So let's get over here, and then I'm going to go. I need to go to work. So this is what I have. It is a project from me, AJ Pickett. Dominic Wallace is Wally DM. And Mitchell Reed is actually Dirt Pickles, okay? I've been working on this a lot. So we have a Barbarian class. It is not complete, I can assure you. If you see yellow, that is not complete. So this is basically what a Shadow Dark class looks like. It's very simple. There's not a lot going on. You break it down to its bare minimum. So leather armor, shields, all melee weapons, 1d10 for your hit points per level, okay? Durable is basically use Dex or Con for calculating armor class. You have advantage on wisdom checks. I'm not going to even bother doing that. I'm just going to go, I've done a Barbarian, okay? It's almost there. There's a few things I'm still tossing up whether I need to keep or is it too much, too little, because they're not supposed to be super powered heroes in this game. So I've got to be careful. There's a couple of things here still a little bit concerned about, but this is the basic gist. Your leveling up process is this table, okay? Each one of them has a leveling up table. Every time you level up, it's every odd level, okay? You get one of these. You get a talent, okay? Titles have been driving me bananas coming up with titles for a barbarian. 15 titles for every single class is painful, but I'm getting there, okay? Barbarian. Almost done that one. Next one, monk, because I love monks, but I never like the monks that I get to play, so I changed the monk. This is the monk. It does not wear armor. Yes, it has a shite load of hit points, because it doesn't wear armor. It's unarmored, so it uses Dex, Con, or Wisdom to calculate the armor class, which is actually spelt incorrectly, but there we go. It has martial arts, so yes, you can punch people. Yeah, this is your key thing. Like, you should be punching and whacking people. Okay, and it is a D6 in Shadow Dark. It is not a D4, and it's a D6. So that's your primary weapon. That's what I would want to be doing. Not using necessarily a weapon, but I want to punch and kick somebody. That's what I want to do. I gave it martial arts styles for the monk. So Tiger Claw, Crane, Snake, Praying Mantis, Dragon, Monkey Style, Drunken Master, blah, 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 blah. And we have some talents that you get when you level up. So that's structured. It's pretty much done. The monk I'm pretty happy with. And fortunately, it took me a while, but just finished up doing the titles for the monk with AJ. There was some very big arguments about the word boxer. But anyway, keeping going. Next one, Paladin. I'm going to probably go over these at some other point, but you guys are just getting a quick look in. I did the Paladin. I'm pretty happy with it. There are still a few problems with it. Yes, it does have spell casting. It does have a smite ability, but it's not quite the way you might expect. And it does have a divine aura. And I'm still working on whether it's too much or too little. It is probably too much right now, but we'll get there. And it's got its talents table when you're leveling up, which is sort of spread over the 2 pages, accidentally. It is a spellcaster. It's a half spellcaster, but it does not use its spellcasting to power its smites. It doesn't do that. Okay, they're different. They're separated. I'm still worried with the talents of the titles for the Paladin. Trying to come up with different titles for a Paladin without repeating yourself is actually difficult. Okay, next one. Bard. The Bard description is not complete. The Bard itself is reinventing what Kelsey did. I didn't like what Kelsey had done. I liked some of it, but not all of it. This is far from finished and feels like I need to do more. It is basically going to inspire you, and also it's more like Tina Turner or Black Sabbath or a heavy metal artist, or you don't cast spells as a bard. No, you blow people's mind with your voice, your music, and the things you say. This is how it's supposed to work for me. So this is the bard. You're probably not going to like it, but that's my vision. It is not finished at all, but we're getting there. Okay, we have a ranger. The ranger is already something Kelsey has worked on before. I'm trying to do my version that I feel like it works. I'm close, but not there. We're almost there. I'm still dealing with stuff, but I'm not as far off as I thought I would be. Okay, so we're close. Titles were a pain in the ass as well. Anyway, next, shaman. Shaman is basically somebody who transforms into a little cute animal and can cast spells while in animal form, which is what Kirsty and so many people in my group have always wanted. So it's here. Okay, it's a spellcaster that's basically you turn into an animal. Okay, it's done. It's done and dusted. This one mostly done and dusted. Commander is kind of like the old warlord or marshal from 4E, and you do battle cries. You assist other people. You're good at persuading and inspiring and negotiating and intimidating others, because that's what I feel like a commander does. This is pretty much done. Like, this is pretty much... Titles were a lot easier for this. Can I just say? When you have to look through the different military ranks, it is so much easier to create a commander on its way. Sorcerer is pretty close to being done. Yes, it has meta magic. Yes, it has wild magic in this class, and yes, it is a full spellcaster. Okay, but but you may not like the fact that the wild magic stuff is going to be a bit wild. Anyway, titles got there. It was hard, but we did it. It happened. Druid is close, but not quite right. I'm still working on this. The Druid creates potions. It does not cast spells. It also has an animal companion because I felt like that was more suitable for not so much the shaman, but more for the Druid. So that's what I've done. And there's some instructions on how your animal companion works. You brew potions. I haven't finished all of that. We're getting there. You just got to be patient. And I'm still struggling a little bit. I'm honestly going to say, but I got the titles done. That's something. Warlock. I had an epiphany about the Warlock. I am close, but not there. Now, Kelsey already made a Warlock, so I'm trying to make mine that's different from hers, but also I'm trying to make sure that it's where it needs to sit. And it annoyed me that her Warlock didn't have Eldritch Blast. I don't know why. I think this is probably a problem with me rather than her design. But I've got something going, and you're going to wind up seeing a whole bunch of patron boons that you pick up. Okay, I've just about got the list sorted out, not completely. I would say that you're going to find that this here is probably not going to be staying. It's going to go, and this here I don't like because it's too much favoring the combat side of things, and I don't want to do that either. Okay, so moving across into ancestries. I've done a dragon blood, which is basically a dragonborn. Yes, it has a breath weapon, and yes, you can just keep using it if you want to. It's not a problem. Okay, I've tailored it so it's balanced for Shadow Dark. There's a gnome. You can play a gnome, and yes, you can speak with little cute animals. Not a problem. That's what the gnomes should be doing. The Aven is basically an Aarakocra. Yes, you can fly. Okay, it's a fairy. You're a fairy. You can be a fairy. Lots of people can be fairies. Yes, you can fly, and you do something with flowers. You make things bloom and so forth. It's fairy-like. It's fairy there. Furbolg. Yes, you can detect magic because you're a Furbolg, and I've got a few other things going on here. Very simple. The Saurian is basically the lizard folk. Okay. Took me ages to figure out what I wanted to do with this, but I got there. We got tough. +1 to your AC. Minotaur. It's got 2 features, which most ancestry should not have. But I could not do it any other way without it just feeling like it was wrong. So you've got your horns and your magical navigation. Okay. You can play as an ooze, and it means you can squeeze through little gaps in good ways and naughty ways. Okay. You can play as a centaur. Please do not focus on the drunkard side of things. The speedy is the one that I really will probably keep. The drunkard, I had some arguments with AJ about this, so drunkard wound up there. We'll see how long it lasts. The centaur. Changeling. You can disguise yourself, at least your face. Turtleoid. Basically, it's the turtle, right? We've got a Atlantean. Now, the turtle has got hard shell, so it took me a while to figure out what I want to do here, but we're there, I think. Anyway, Atlantean, yes, you can breathe underwater and you can swim really fast, okay? Construct. This is something that AJ insisted must be here, so we did it. It took a little while, we got there. Yes, we have a troll. You can play as a troll. And that is, I think, the end of my my show and tell today. Okay, that is what I've been working on. I've got 15 more days to get it done. And for those of you who like that game, great. And for those of you who don't and don't know what the hell I'm talking about, it won't matter in the slightest. So, yeah, there we go. There we go. Well, now, I read the chat log. Christy didn't confuse me. She actually made things really clear for me back in 1982. Did she? Joe Rogan. I don't think it's going to be Joe Rogan. I've never liked the word pugilist, but I used it because I was running out of words. But anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's just a title. Okay? Thinking now there if there would... Anyway, I need to end this live stream and go to work. I've got one more day of work. I better be there rather than be late. Do you want to make some magic amulets for your tabletop role-playing game? Yes, 92%. Good question to ask, Fred. Undecided, 7%, and out of 13 people. Hey, look, thank you to everybody who showed up today. I apologise for going a little bit off topic and for getting a little bit silly. Kind of lost it there near the end quite a bit. So huge thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. Big thank you to everybody who's been responding to the poll. I do appreciate it. But a big thank you to everybody in chat who's been sharing their ideas. Like, you know who you are. Pale Rider, Fred Huber, Jasper, Shy X, James, and I think there was some other people as well. And if I've missed you, it's not because I was trying to miss you. It is because I just forgot. And I'm hot. And I need to get out of this room. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.